All right, art 2. So after you have done your jelly prints, you've got your canvas already with a background and some textures, lines, and techniques from that sheet I put on canvas. I also pulled that sheet from Ms. Coslow's art room on Teacher Pay Teachers, so if a teacher is watching this, check out her resource. So once you have this all ready, we are going to start using our stencils and our jelly prints. So what I've started doing is I started picking my favorite jelly prints and I started ripping them up. The reason I rip them is that when you rip them, they have a nice white edge and it becomes more interesting to look at. If you cut it, it's more fine and straight and doesn't have that rough edge texture. So I really like ripping them rather than cutting them. However, you can cut them, especially if you have something in there that you really want to accent, such as your stencil came out really great. You can do that, up to you. I'm just gonna rip them up. I may end up cutting around some shapes I have in my jelly prints, like my bee and my leaf and so forth. So with that, I'm gonna start ripping them. And I don't want them all to be rectangles. You can have them all be rectangles, but I'm gonna try and get some different shapes and sizes. So if I have areas that I for sure do not like, so if I did something such as, for example, I am not a fan of this area right here. I don't really like this blue and orange line that I did. The center's kind of blank. I'm gonna just start placing my jelly prints and overlapping them, maybe adding a couple of stencils in there. I have a couple of leaf prints so I can overlap them and have them come behind. And this is your collage part of this project. It's just collaging your prints. Let's see if I can find. Make that pop a little bit. And you don't have to use everything that you did either. Let me put that one there. So I'm going to just start placing it where I want them to be. Need some brightness in here. Just play around with it. You'll see what you want when you do it. And then once you have a piece, say I definitely want this one right there, you're going to get some Mod Podge. So you can get this at any supermarket like Walmart, Meijer, any craft store has Mod Podge. It is a bit on the pricey side of glue. So I will post at the end of this video a DIY Mod Podge recipe that involves glue and some other ingredients in case you don't have access to this. Okay, so I put some of the Mod Podge in a Dixie cup and I'm just gonna take a little bit, put some on the back, then place that down, and then I can also seal it on top, and it will dry clear, but also sometimes will have this nice glossy look to it. That way, say something does end up catching this by somebody walking by, it won't start peeling off. So Mod Podge is really great for sealing things down, and you don't need a ton, just enough to get it down. Okay, you can add some other things to your canvas, such as I'm going to go run and grab some chiffon. So I do have twine. I can add some twine in there. I wouldn't really do much of the twine because I do want this to appear kind of flat, but I do have this nice textured chiffon or tulle, as most people call it, for decorating in weddings and stuff. So I can put that down. It would have a nice texture and see-through overlay on some things, okay? So you can add other things to your canvas besides your jelly prints and your stencils. I'm a really big fan of my bee. I have a couple of bees. I can lay my bees up in here too, and so forth. Okay, so that's about it, and then when you're good to go, turn it in.